have Clone Man in that starting lineup for our very first round of Control here on Lijiang Tower. Very exciting. Control Center is one of those original maps that really favored that Reinhardt Zarya even before the advent of GOATs. And, oh boy, are we going to see who is the coldest ice queen of them all. Buds and Perfect on Mirror Maze. So whoever gets that first money wall will have such a big advantage.
Actually, Skyfox has taken a ton of damage coming into this first point here on Control Tower, but Skyfox are going to have a little bit better positioning on the objective, as Atlanta Academy are going to have to come onto the point and try to take it from them or try to get a pick, but Max is going to get the first kill in this series. It's going to be first blood for Skyfoxes, and now a 6v5. These walls are crossing and perpendicular walls right now, but it's going to be more of an advantage for Atlanta Academy just to get a little bit more health and get a little bit more time to come back onto this point.
Skyfoxes do flip the point first, but they are at a disadvantage in terms of manpower right here. Gator trying to just get some damage in here, push forward, get some room for his team to recap this point. Hawk now going to be the one putting in all of that throughput damage, and a great response from Atlanta Academy right there. They unfortunately had Sugar Free fall to a very early pick, but the way that they reacted to it showed a lot of maturity from this team, which is a great early sign. Gator got walled off, but the peel from Ajax and Saucy was immediately there. They turned a bad situation into their favor, and now they're about to eclipse Skyfoxes in terms of point percentage.
Yeah, they didn't overcommit. A great wall isolating Sugar Free, but Sugar Free is able to get away. Wasn't quite good enough, as if the first Blizzard is going to come out. Saucy's going to use the Transcendence to counter that, but the pin kill onto Sky means Atlanta Academy are in control of this fight. However, they have invested some ultimates in here, but not as many as Skyfoxes, as they've invested almost everything so far. As Buds and Cloneman going to show up on the board. I'm liking this Cloneman look so far for Skyfoxes. Atlanta Academy going to go ahead and use that Blizzard from Perfect, and this has been back and forth so far.
Oh no, Buds! Say it ain't so. Mei is one of the few heroes that can technically play for the other team. You saw that wall go up protecting him and the rest of the team, but Clone Man got caught off, went down, and it is still a fight on the point. Skyfoxes should back up at this point, especially with that grab coming out. Down so many members, it's almost impossible for them to get this full flip, which they need desperately at this point, now that ATL is up over 60%.
Yeah, they maybe would have gone for that reset after a couple of kills, because they've just given Atlanta Academy so much more percentage, and now with these picks, it's going to be 80% by the time Skyfoxes come back in, so we are potentially one fight potential if Skyfoxes lose this.
But wisely, Gator not going to hold up too aggressively. They only have the Shatter online right now. They can buy a little bit more time, take the fight on the objective itself so that Ajax can get that sound barrier, because Buds is ready to make it rain some snowflakes right here, looking for that perfect target.
She's going to go ahead and throw that out, that maze, but the Earth Shatter tried to counter that, but is not going to hit much. Cloneman was knocked onto the ground, but the Blizzard doing more zoning than anything else, and that's going to work out for Buds. Saucy going to be going down. No Discord Orb or Harmony Orb for Atlanta Academy means that the extra damage input is not going to be there. Skyfoxes are going to have to go through the sound barrier coming from Atlanta Academy. The Transcendence is going to happen as well. Ults on ults here on Control Tower. We're going to get another Blizzard, and actually Atlanta Academy are going to get the better of Skyfoxes, even though the trades are still coming through. Atlanta Academy are in control of this fight. So Ham, this has happened a couple times with Skyfoxes losing momentum after that first pick. They can't seem to finish it off.
Yeah, we saw the same thing with Montreal Rebellion yesterday. A very good early fight does not necessarily mean that you're going to be able to close things out. Skyfoxes had some great early picks. Buds starting things off with an Icicle kill right at the very beginning, but unfortunately they just didn't have quite the fast enough reaction time to the walls and the blizzards that were coming out. Clone Man, you saw charge straight into a blizzard. Maybe he thought that he could clear that area of effect, maybe get a pin kill, but unfortunately that just meant that he was caught frozen like a statue in no man's land, and he goes down. So now, as Skyfoxes head into our next map, Night Market, there will be no Maze gracing our screens, a little bit more of that tried and true triple tank, triple support. What are we going to be looking for here, Boop? Personally, I would like to see a little bit more output from Buds in terms of that damage. Going to be a little bit easier with him playing on the Zarya now.
Yeah, once that high energy comes through, both Zaryas are going to be DPS for both of these teams respectively, as they're going to jostle for position here. They're going to enter the main way and kind of just horizontally see each other, but one pick is going to be enough for Atlanta Atlanta Academy, they're just going to push through a little bit more damage, and the 6v4 is going to mean that they have this first point.
It looked like Clone Man wanted to go for the objective, but the rest of the team was a little bit hesitant right there. You saw he got caught in the doorway. Again, the first one down in this fight, and you can see the effect that it has just on that ultimate economy. Gator nearly 60%, while Clone Man just scraping 20. So ATL already are going to have some tools coming into this next fight. Skyfoxes, they might just have to take an eco push, a lost fight, before they can go in with all of their ducks in a row.
Well, as of right now, Atlanta Academy doesn't have any of those check marks just yet. Skyfoxes do have an opportunity to come in here if they want to. They're potentially waiting for the Transcendence from Lastro to come online, so there's a way to get onto the point, as if they're ult tracking at this point, they're probably assuming that Ajax and Saucy are also close to those ultimates. And look at these charges, actually, with Skyfoxes catching up. Graviton Surge coming from Perfect's going to be the engage for Atlanta Academy. Thank goodness Lastro had that Transcendence, or else Skyfoxes would all be in spawn right now. Earthshatter coming from Gator is going to knock FaZe onto the ground. You're going to want more value out of that. Skyfoxes get a little bit more value out of that Earthshatter, but Cloakman does go down. So even though the Earthshatter was a little bit better, they don't have the numbers right now. Atlanta Academy going to invest a sound barrier into this fight as well. Along with the armor provided from the rally, they're looking good, Ham.
Really excellent play right there from Ajax. Gator was getting booped away from the rest of his team very close to the edge of the map. He drops the sound barrier just as Skyfox is all in to try and kill that Reinhardt. And with all of that sudden unexpected boost in health, they weren't quite ready, they themselves being very low. So ATL continue to hold here. Skyfoxes, they're looking at potentially last fight territory, but Buds is finally ready with that grab, and Saucy's still quite far away from the trance.
Here we go. Lucius going to escort them onto the point as the sound barrier is going to go through. Atlanta Academy are going to come up on some ultimates, but Perfect's going to die before the Graviton Surge is able to come through. Skyfox is now winning this fight. It's been a while since they've been in this position, but they will take this, and that was probably the cleanest one we've seen from them so far.
Indeed. You go in there, throw out the grab, throw out the self-destruct. It's very textbook at this point, but Skyfox were able to execute, and that bodes well for this team moving on. However, they are in that dangerous 10% to 95% position, so ATL only have to take one more good, clean wipe, and they will have won this very first map. Lastro is the only one on Skyfoxes who is still holding on to an ultimate, so they're going to have to back up, take the fight on the objective.
There's no doubt about it. Atlanta Academy are in charge of this fight. They have way more resources. They're getting escorted on with the rally. Perfect's going to use that Graviton Surge. Lastro's going to counter that with that Transcendence, and Hawk is going to get his first self-destruct kill here. Actually, 1.5, as the team is going to be deep-necked for Skyfoxes. This was going to be a hard fight for Skyfoxes to win in general, but good on Atlanta Academy to know when they have the advantage and what their win conditions are.
Exactly. You have grab and shatter. Throw out the grab. You can almost guarantee that you're going to draw that trance. Shatter after. Grab when you have. Shatter after, as we sometimes say. But yeah, that will be ATL taking that first point.
ATL is going to go up against Skyfoxes 1-0 before we get into our second map. Atlanta in control 90% of that time. They lost one fight on each map, and that was it. And honestly, they just look like they're just being, even though they haven't practiced that much together because of some of the roster changes, they look just way more cohesive.
Well, we do also need to remember that even though there has been the addition of one new player, the core of this team have maintained throughout the last season. So Skyfoxes are going to be, warming up just a little bit, but this bodes well for Atlanta Academy. Control was hands down their worst map type.
Yes,
And it wasn't just, they aren't doing so high. It was like a 20% win rate. So this is excellent. You can tell that they're communicating very well, and they just got so much value from every single one of those ultimates. And it seemed like they came in with a plan in every single engagement, whereas Skyfoxers are kind of a little bit more laissez-faire.
So we're going to be going into game number 2 with Atlanta having the momentum. And something that I think we've been mentioning a lot of is just how good the coaching in Contenders can be. So I think sometimes we can tunnel and pat the pro. It's for players, it's for casters. But really, a lot of coaches have opportunities to move up in the world and start coaching for these Overwatch League teams. And we've got some good ones in Contenders. And I think what you mentioned, that control thing, right? They were very, very good on all of the other map types. Control was by far their weakest. It's the same core group of people. We didn't see that at all there, and I really want to credit the coaching for that.
Oh, absolutely. You identify a mistake from the last season, you work on it, and the results have, they speak for themselves,
It's
right?
legit.
Yeah, however, hybrid is going to be a little bit of a different story. You don't have to go for that GOATS composition here, and this is when Skyfoxes may be pulling out something new, right? Remember, they came from trials, so they've been competing against these teams in this meta, you know, much more recently than Atlanta Academy, who no doubt have also been scrimming. So we might see a little bit of flexing here. I'm just going to throw it out there. Buds was well known for his Roadhog. He had some Reaper moments too. You never quite know.
Well, we talked about versatility at the beginning of this game, and we could maybe see some differences here on point A. A lot of times they'll do the scout, they'll pick that Widow, try to get that headshot, get the scouting done, and then change their comp based off what they see the defense is having, because the defense doesn't have that opportunity to switch.
No. So if you are attacking, you have the opportunity to kind of throw something completely unexpected at the enemy, which will be Atlanta Academy here on the defense first. Ajax just showing us how what great suction his shoes have. I'm guessing is that how that works?
Yeah, it's the power of music that sticks him to the wall.
That explains so much.
It's the universal language, Han. It's
you can
beautiful.
even communicate with inanimate objects.
It's true.
Hold me up.
Exactly. And so Skyfoxes, you know, they were showing a little bit of fun, but, you know, goats can be fun as well. But who's going to be the alpha goat in this game? Is it going to be Atlanta Academy, or is it going to be Skyfoxes? Buds is going to start out on the Sombra. This could just be for that scout. They could, oh no, they're going to translocate right through, so they might be using this Sombra for the time of being very good against these shield compositions. Also, she takes away all of the very, very important cooldowns that you need for these ghost compositions, that triple tank, triple support, as Bud's trying to push the damage down, but all of it's going to get mitigated by the defense matrix and the shield, but that's not going to matter as he's going to focus down Gator. So this is 6v5 right now for Skyfox. I love the up-tempo play right now. They got the pick, and you saw them take over the point. Skyfox is super close to that EMP as well.
Yeah, you saw right there Buds just pressuring Hawk down off of the low ground, looking for an opportunity. You don't necessarily have to be that flanking Sombra. Sometimes you just need more bullets, but ATL, they're not giving it up just yet. They want to rebound back onto the objective, and Skyfox is going to back off, look for an opportunity to use this EMP.
Oh, they're going to go ahead and use the EMP, and it's going to all 6 members of Atlanta Academy, so Saucy was unable to use that Transcendence in time. That's exactly what you want to see from Buds, that Sombra. Hey, I said, oh, this is probably going to be a switch, right? No, I'm so happy he brought it out, Bud. 6-man EMP to start out your Sombra play in North American Contenders, man.
It literally doesn't get any better. Not only do you 6-man EMP, but you get the Zen, and now she's still hungry. Oh,
Who
Saucy.
needs to reload, right? Who needs to reload? That's the patience. I totally would have reloaded that.
Nope, and that's why we're casting these games instead of playing. And Bud's right now getting a little bit more early information, but Skyfoxes hold all of the cards. Look at these ultimates, and again, just being so obnoxious in that backline. That's given Skyfoxes the opportunity to get through this archway, which is where the defense wants to hold at Streets phase. At this point, ATL are just going to look at a last-second point B defense. It's going to be a lot harder to hold in the middle, especially because your backline is going to be so open. Bud's already in the back.
Buds is in the backline. He's going to be able to get that hack out. Bud's actually taking very, very low, so I'm assuming the Zenyatta on Atlanta Academy was able to push through some damage, and Hawk is going to go ahead and eat the first grab of this match. Gator going to get another kill, so Skyfox is maybe a little too fancy on this push, maybe a little too cocky going forward. Atlanta Academy do take advantage of that and push him back to spawn.
Yeah, good play from Atlanta Academy. Saucy using that trance extremely proactively. He's not going to wait for that Sombra to try and hack him in order to use it. ATL take that direction, push forward aggressively with all of that extra healing, and they've bought themselves a defense here. Skyfoxes now, they have to go for the tough engage, but
oh my goodness, Buds, you're 12 for 12 for hacked enemies on your EMP. He has a 100% hacking rate on those EMPs. Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
I was about to say, oh, this defense, this offense might be more difficult. We're going to have to set up as a Sombra. How many times have we seen Sombras hesitate? They get taken low, they're forced to translocate out, and then the rest of the team out of position with that one of their members. But no, Skyfox is all in.
And the thing about it is Skyfoxes were at a huge ultimate disadvantage. The EMP said, I don't care, we're going to win this fight. But hey, that was a little while ago now. Cloman is going to get taken low, get the pin, but he's going to be taken down because of it. Skyfoxes are on the brink of losing this attack right now as Atlanta Academy trying to right the ship on this defense. Hawk does have a self-destruct. That's got to be scary for any team facing off against Atlanta Academy, one of the few divas that's able to launch solo grabs and get those kills.
Yeah, that's certainly worth
self-destructs.
Yes, that's certainly worth mentioning, Boop. We see a lot of bigger bang setups these days, but Hawk is one of those divas who can find those kills solo. He's not going to need it for now, though, as ATL once again scrapped back a defense. And Skyfoxes now, they are going to have their momentum a little bit stuffed. Buzz doesn't quite yet have that opening EMP, but FaZe is ready with the grab. So, best case scenario is Buzz gets a hack onto Saucy to allow for that grab to come through. No supportive ultimates available for Atlanta.
FaZe going to start things off with a kill on Sugar Free, who had died first a lot last season, and even though Atlanta Academy had found so much success, Hawk is going to get that single self-destruct kill, but Skyfox is not going to let that deter them on this attack, as they are going to come out on top in the end. Perfect's going to be the last one standing. Skyfoxes will be grabbing the second point.
Good opportunity taken by Clone Man right there, and ATL will net that point B. 3 minutes, 30 seconds is not too bad at all for an attacking team. They still also have tools. Bud Sombra has been amazing for these teams. We've really seen Sombras come into their own, be that wrench in the gears of a well-oiled GOATS machine, and Sugar Free, he just has to stay alive at this point.
All right, we're going to see an 18 for 18. No! Missed Saucy! Unfortunately, he's going to have one off of that record, but it doesn't matter, as Saucy didn't have to transcend it. So all of Atlanta Academy are going to go down, and this is so great for Buzz. He's going to win the MVP for this attack, because without those EMPs, it wouldn't look so easy for Skyfoxes right now.
No, and it does look so easy, Boop. It's like taking candy from a baby. ATL don't even really have any chances to use those ultimates. However, they know that dangerous EMP is off of the field for now, but the hack isn't. Hawk forced out of the fight.
So that means no defense matrix. He's not protecting the rest of Atlanta Academy from those projectiles. The Earthshatter is going to knock 2 down from Skyfox. The Transcendence is going to come out just in time to save them all. So everyone looking good on health except for Perfect, who's going to throw out a Desperation Graviton Surge before the end of this round, and the damage was almost there for Atlanta Academy, but only one is going to end up going back to spawn. Cloman's going to use another Earthshatter. Atlanta Academy are slowly pulling this one back. Hawk is going to use that self-destruct. It's going to give him a little bit of breathing room to kind of recontest this the way that they want to. Skyfox is down in numbers with these spawns. Atlanta Academy do get that defense, but it was scary.
A little bit scary. Saucy, you could see him hoping, praying for more little bits of enlightenment. He was like 2 seconds away from the trance when that grab dropped, which was why he was just a tad late, but he made up for it with a frag. So Skyfox is now getting slightly stymied. They're down to 1:45, but they still have this EMP online. And ATL, they don't really have the space to play separate, so they may well fall prey to that 6-man lights out once again.
Yeah, Sugar Free using the rally very early on, maybe expecting Skyfoxes to attack a little earlier. EMP is going to go down. It's going to get 5 this time around. Saucy still doesn't have that Transcendence, so this is Skyfox's game right now. As they were hacked 2 down, means Skyfoxes have a huge numbers advantage, but the way that these spawns work, they have to make sure they keep this advantage for the entirety of these next fights. Hawk without that mech is also going to get stunned. Somehow is still alive. Is he going to be able to get back into that mech? He's very, very close, as Atlanta Academy have not lost this out just yet. Skyfox struggling with the time to kill there at the end. Hawk was able to get back into the mech, is stunned right now. Is going to get D-necked very, very soon as Gator switching to Wrecking Ball for this desperation stall.
Yes. Oh, but a huge shatter from Clone Man, throwing all of the defenders down onto their backs at the very last second. But a grab is there. Will the damage be enough?
With the Transcendence, I don't think it will be. Good placement on that grab, but it's not going to be enough for Atlanta Academy to come back. But hey, they're still fighting. They'll take that, and they'll take all that time off the clock, and Skyfoxes still have not gotten this 3rd point. It's going to happen right now with that Graviton Surge, but good stall coming from Atlanta Academy.
Oh, no doubt. They were, at that point in the defense, you're hoping to just draw it out into overtime, right? But to Skyfox's credit, they were able to finish with 35 seconds, so they've guaranteed themselves at least a defense, right? ATL, I'm curious, you know, maybe a little bit stubborn not running their own Sombra. At least you have that opportunity to tear Skyfox's attention in half, right? Force them to pay a little bit more attention to their backline, force some resources over there, because Buds was literally running free that entire round.
Yeah, it was unchecked that whole time. And now that Atlanta Academy are on this offense, my question to you, Ham, is if you're running that Sombra, how are you going to institute it into this team that hasn't practiced their comms as much, right?
Yeah, well, hey, but, you know, we might see, well, it depends on who's going to be picking up the Sombra, I suppose, is the question here, because remember, we do have some role swaps. Saucy, who is usually a DPS player, on the flex support role this time around. But I would just say play it disciplined. It's, even though you haven't maybe practice Sombra as much with this team specifically, you've been playing with your teammates for quite some time. You've played against and with Sombras in the past, so, you know, kind of just, Skyfox has basically laid out the playbook, right? Build EMP fast, just go in, man. Just go in. Seemed to be the best route for them.
So, crazy statistic, of all of the EMPs, I believe that Buds hacked 22 out of a possible 24 members of Atlanta Academy with those EMPs. That's amazing. Take that one and tell all your friends. A Sugar Free going to get the first kill on in this May here on point A. Atlanta Academy, you know, not playing super safe, as Perfect is going to be on that Sombra, and Sugar Free still on that May. Saucy on that Zenyatta, you know, there's going to be a little bit more growing pains onto that, but as of right now, we're not seeing any.
I love the adaptation right here. Oh, a pause, though, just to allow us to digest what we're seeing, because this is really interesting. I was going to say, what is this, South American Contenders? Is this Hephaestus? It's very, we don't see attacking Maze very often at all. I'm curious if it was just a strat to see if they could get an early pick, kind of like a Widowmaker taking a pot shot out of spawn, but what a pick! They got Clone Man. That is the best case scenario for the attacking team. There is no way for the defense to re-engage in any kind of meaningful way. They have to back up, give space, and even if they manage to keep everybody alive in that retreat, you're going to be giving up 1, 2, maybe even the whole point.
Well, that's how Skyfoxes took their first point. Remember? So Buds was able to take the Reinhardt out, and they just walked onto the point and grabbed it, and then we saw some amazing EMP. Still thinking about those, buddy. And so now that we're going into this Atlanta attack, they're conceivably going to grab this point A. Skyfoxes do have an opportunity to come back in for this last defense if they so choose. I hope they do, but right now Atlanta Academy looking pretty good.
And a good swap too. You see that Perfect was on his own Sombra, right? Just so that you have that threat. And curious if Sugar Free is going to stick with this May past that first point. She can be so frustrating with those small chokes. You know exactly where the enemy team has to engage. You can wait, try and bait them into bad positioning. But I'd say, you know, stick with this May until you get Blizzard. See what you can get going. I mean, even just this being so frustrating is worth it for Skyfoxes.
That actually got them that tick.
Got them that whole point, because Sugar Free's Brigitte was not doing a ton of work the last round, but we're going to see if he gets a better chance this time.
So that was an expected switch coming into Street Space. Well, the wall is good. Something is better, and that is called Brigitte. Coming into this GOATS composition with this Sombra, Skyfox is going to be running the exact same thing. So I love this Buds versus Perfect. Now both teams have to worry about the EMP. That might cause Atlanta Academy to be a little bit more on their toes about it, because they can't have Deja Vu with Buds' Sombra, and they're doing a much better job as Buds is only about 50% to that EMP.
Perfect, though, himself just a little bit ahead, but the best news is Saucy will have the trance, but Gator's dead, forces out right away.
I love these Reinhardt mating dances, right? They get so close to each other, they swing the hammer, and then one falls, and so does the rest of their team. This time around, Clone Man is going to win that battle against Gator. Atlanta Academy getting pushed back to spawn. Skyfox is looking good, and they have more resources, too.
Sugar Free's positioning a little bit suspect right there. Saucy even invested the trance to try and keep the push alive when Gator went down, but Sugar Free trying by himself to take down a member of Skyfox's. You saw him cut away from the rest of his team, so now ATL going to go with the EMP engage instead. EMP into a grab, one of those classics, but oh, detected. Will anything happen, though? Perfect's still here.
I mean, good heads-up play. You saw the Lucio go ahead and left-click that. Oh, the EMP is going to come out. It's not going to be as effective as the other ones, but the team is going to be as effective, getting 5 kills against Atlanta Academy. Looking good so far, but there's still 4 minutes and 15 seconds left.
This Streets phase is by no means done right now. ATL wisely saving all of those ultimates. You saw Perfect right there. He threw the translocator looking for it, but with such an early pick, he saved it for the later, better fight now that he knows Skyfoxes no longer have their Shatter or their EMP.
Oh, he was not detected. This is a great positioning for this EMP. Going to get 4 members. Matt going to get focused down immediately, and we're seeing the power of Sombra in this King's Row so far, as every fight that seems to be won starts with the Sombra.
Undoubtedly, and so that just means that Skyfox is going to have to potentially find a team fight win the old-fashioned way with a single grab. It absolutely can be done, and so ATL Academy, though, they are better stocked in terms of ultimates, and Bud's also forced to translocate out, so you know that ability is down. Keep going pretty aggressively.
Atlanta Academy are going to have an advantage for not that much longer, though. Skyfox is going to have both of those support ultimates. Sometimes it's all you need is Earthshatter going to knock FaZe onto the ground, but the Graviton Surge was able to come out just in time, and Saucy's going to use that Transcendence to make sure everyone at Atlanta Academy, especially the hacked Gator, stays alive. Both Reinhardt's hacked. In the meantime, Gator, though, is going to be the first to go, and Butts is going to use that EMP and hit another 5 people. It would have hit 6, but Gator was already down. Buds putting a clinic on with this Sombra. It's moved on from clinic. It is now a masterclass.
Propaganda is useless. What else can you say? Skyfoxes now finding their purchase here with this defense. It was actually a beautiful hack from Perfect to set up Gator's Shatter, but unfortunately ATL weren't able to capitalize off of it, and now they're on the back foot defending against Buds' Sombra, who is going to be able to set up wherever he pleases, looking for the high ground hack.
So these EMPs have all been huge. I'm going to ask you a little question about that either. Is it more of the lack of positioning from these sides, not really knowing where the EMP is coming from, or is these Sombras enabling these plays? As another EMP is going to come through, going to get the same 4 as last time on Skyfox. As Cloakman taken very low, is still alive, gets the armor pack, but the rest of his team isn't so lucky. 2 members, actually, it's even right now. It's 3v3. Skyfox is actually taking advantage right now. They're going to push Atlanta back.
Oh, and Cloneman catches a decloaking Sombra with his hammer. That's a golden day for a Reinhardt.
Hey, Kobe!
And, gets Ajax on the retreat as well. Man alive, Cloneman is having some kind of game, but to answer your question, Boop, it's the risk reward, right? The deeper you go, the more dangerous it is if you get caught out for your team. But of course, the bigger reward you have as well for hitting more members. And oh, what a head-to-head! Buds takes down Perfect with his fist.
You don't see that every day. That's almost as good as that Torb hammer, but nothing will be as good as that. Atlanta Academy has an Earthshatter. Skyfoxes have way more than that. They're well prepared for the next minute and 16 seconds. They can definitely hold here on Street Days. They've been holding for a very long time. Skater's going to use the Earthshatter. Get 3. One of them is the Zenyatta, so there was no Transcendence there. The hack is going to go on to Cloneman. EMP coming from Buds, gets 5 members of Atlanta Academy, but this time around, Skyfoxes didn't have enough to follow it up, as FaZe going to use that Graviton Surge and take Sugar Free out of this game. This isn't over yet for Skyfoxes. Sky is hacked, so they don't have that Inspire healing and that shield. Last year is going to come in with that Transcendence, and Atlanta Academy actually very, very low. They have a very important decision to make. Do they keep going, or do they try even harder? They're going to try even harder, as Hawk's going to go down with Graviton Surge, but Perfect does have EMP. We've seen how important and how good EMPs can be for these fights. It doesn't matter what check marks. It doesn't matter what cooldowns you have. EMP is going to go down. Lasher's going to die right away. Skyfoxes are going to follow Atlanta Academy in this long, drawn-out fight. In their last opportunity, do take it, and they will grab the second point.
Finally able to get some kind of purchase here. 1 minute 45 seconds left for them to finish things out. What looked like such a strong push after point A has really fizzled into, a stream, a small trickle of attackers here, but they still have Grav and Earthshatter on the line to Atlanta Academy, and Perfect with a good positioning here does get booped off, but it doesn't matter. Gator finds the kills.
Gator finds a little bit more than that, HamTornados. He's going to find a plethora of those, 4 to be exact, 4 last hits. Skyfoxes going to have to struggle back on this defense, but they do have what they need to do it.
Yeah, they just can't trickle onto this point. Ajax hacked again. Bud's constantly doing work in this backline. Saucy and Ajax can never really focus on the fight right in front of them, which they need to do right here, coming up against the well-stocked ultimate pantry of Skyfoxes.
EMP doesn't care about that well-stocked pantry of Atlanta Academy, as 3 members are going to go down right away, but that could have been what we say a little too clean here at the end. It is going to allow Atlanta Academy to come back.
But what an engage. Skyfoxes, they only used the single shatter, or rather, excuse me, EMP into shatter to set that up. They still have 3 ultimates, nearly 4. Atlanta Academy have 1 more shot, but it is going to be a very difficult one. Bud's already looking to cripple them with an early pick on the backline.
I was assuming that there's going to be a little bit more bullets flying there from Buds, but he's going to try to get that EMP in a bit of a safer way, as Atlanta Academy are going to be using that rally, and then EMP getting 4 members to save for as usual. But Lashro is going to be able to get that Transcendence out, so it doesn't matter that they're hacked. Cloneman still doesn't have that shield, but they've got the shields from that sound barrier. Good stuff coming from Skyfoxes, using those ults is arguably the best way they could. Atlanta Academy unable to get on to the payload. We said it before, this Skyfoxes team is way better than the one last year, as they take a map off of Atlanta Academy.
A map off of Atlanta Academy, and who to do it. And it wasn't Control. And who to do it in their very first matchup, but Skyfoxes. This is definitely a reversal of tales that we wouldn't be quite expecting. And this bodes so well, Boop.
It bodes well indeed, and this is a game on our hands right now. We are 1-1 going into halftime, and Buds, spectacular, stellar, other words and synonyms that mean the same thing on that Sombra.
Yeah, please, Thesaurus. Bud's really making his mark felt right now on that Sombra, which, we've seen Sombras play time and time again, but Bud's kind of, he's been a name who's that you recognize all the way from the very beginning of competitive Overwatch, and now making an impact on the Skyfoxes team in the way that he has. Look at that 6-man EMP. Makes it look so much easier than it is to get everybody grouped up like that. However, ATL, to their credit, Saucy in particular, did start just playing that much further back. He was able to get those trances off once he recognized kind of Bud's very aggressive Sombra play style, but in the end it wasn't quite enough for Atlanta Academy. They were constantly, they were just now figuring out, in their own attacking round how to kind of deal with that Sombra, and it came a little bit too late.
Well, we are tied 1-1 going into the break. It's been pretty close so far, but we're going to take 6 minutes before we come back with Assault. See you soon.